our research has advanced. So likewise, we need to, on a yearly basis, have a proactive approach to extracting the best of researches that have been done and converting them to tangible products. So through government institutions that will be well financed, that will be well monitored, that will be well managed, we can assemble all the proposals, all the researches on a yearly basis, and we will have manpower who are working there on a daily basis, sieving which of these research outputs is a trash and which one is a treasure. We can't just keep relying on the West. The phones are majorly being manufactured by the West. The software inside our phones are majorly being manufactured by the West. We are also, our own young engineers here with local intelligence, with their little exposure, they are also working on something in different institutions of higher learning. So how do we harness them together? And then how do we finance the best among them for further learning and encourage them also to come back, to come and implement that so that we can transform our society? So in a nutshell, government needs to make the funds available. Government needs to put systems and structures in place by establishing competent commission whose main job will be to harvest and to sieve and to select and to process and to also monitor the implementation of some of these research findings. It could be a very tall order, but it may be one of the ways to go to save ourselves from brain drain, to save ourselves from over-reliance on the West. We need to do this as one of the ways to move forward. And then government needs to find a way also as a way of inviting or attracting the best brain back home. Because only the deep collect to the deep. If you are not deep as a lecturer, if you are not deep as an academician, you may not necessarily be able to produce giants easily. But if you are also brimming with ideas yourself, if you are, proactive yourself, you are seeing tomorrow yourself, then you can help someone who is seeing tomorrow to stand very well and say, okay, I understand this your idea, but if you do it this way, let's see how it's going to, But if we have a crop of, people who are not enthusiastic, then for them to motivate the young ones will be very difficult. If we have a crop of people who are not well remunerated, for them to have that drive and that courage to really continue to push people with ideas that can change the world will be very, very difficult. So government has a lot of role to play, and I think the buck is on the president's desk. It needs to establish a commission that will be managing all research outputs. It needs to provide funds to encourage those who are working with these young, bright minds, and it needs to attract the best brain back home. There are a lot of indices involved in the global ranking.
Perhaps you might want to share it.
Yeah, there are lots. First, your research outputs and online engagement as well. All these things we count to give points to different universities, and then visibilities, because most of those who we rank will not necessarily travel down to visit all the universities. So the quantum of information available to them might be minimal in some cases. In other words, some of all these institutions will base their judgment on what they could track down in the media or what they could verify through some of the established institutions, and because they know it will cost them a lot to travel down to all these universities in the world to be able to ask them direct questions. So, but in a nutshell, I don't think private institutions in Nigeria are fairly represented, because I'm aware the institutions are doing a lot on a daily basis to groom the next generation of leaders, to transform their communities, to transform their world. And this is evident in the sense that we have some of these low-ranking institutions. We have, lecturers there, we have administrators there who are also making wave on the international scene when they step outside the shores of Nigeria, where, the light is now on them, where the right channels are now the one amplifying their research work. So through that, I think our media will need to do a lot by really doing the legwork to find out what is really happening in some of our institutions, and then bring it to the fore some of the good things that are happening there for the world to know, for the world to hear about them, so that when all these bodies that are responsible for the ranking, when they are picking indices, they can easily assess some of this information through credible media information that will be in the public domain. in the West, most of the higher institutions there, they have become institutions indeed. They are not struggling. They have millions of money coming in through research, coming in through donations, coming in through grants, through government support. So they have multiple sources of income. Private institutions are in the majority in Nigeria. If you combined the number of public institutions in Nigeria, both federal and states together, they are not up to private. And to the best of my knowledge, private are not getting that beam fund, that huge fund from the government because they are private, okay? And possibly because of some other factors of the fact that government has limited funds. But nevertheless, the institutions in Africa, institutions in underdeveloped countries, if they have the right support, if they have access to the right funding, they will compete favorably with Western universities. It can take a little time, but it is something that is doable. Where we have, the right leadership, the right manpower, the right financial support, the right media exposure, and everything is just right, you can be rest assured that it will be almost automatic that these institutions will also compete favorably. After all, there was a time in the 60s and 70s, before the proliferation of internet and, as we have it, we have people coming from India to lecture in some of our institutions in underdeveloped countries. You have people, lecturers from UK, from America, though there may be few, working in UI, where the atmosphere is okay, where the finance is there. So a time will come also the table can turn if we do the needful. If government is ready to do the needful, the table can turn and our institutions can become signage of all eyes. You see, science is dynamic, science is amazing. And science is revolutionizing the world. And we can't stop it. So AI first has come to stay. Okay? And AI is still going to change a lot of things beyond what we are even seeing. In the next 30 years, what we think, the kind of disruption that we think AI is causing now will be a child's play. I don't think so. If we trained people on the right usage of it, if we expose them to the appropriate usage of AI, okay, they are going to get it right. For instance, AI allows you to access information on the go. If for instance, I need a quick information about what, let me say, normative theory is all about. Maybe I'm about to step into class as a student or as a lecturer, and I just want to create a kind of a snippet conversations around normative theories, and I'm not with my notes. Anybody can try this in the world at just a punching of few keys that give me a brief on normative theory. You have a whole dossier of what normative theory is all about. So you access information on the go. So the information is there. It is what you do with that information that counts. It's like money. Or it's like someone that, okay, I can still use money as an example. Money has no color, it's not tribal sensitive. So if you have money with you, for instance, you can use it to buy food. You can use it to go and, do unethical things, maybe like betting, like prostituting. The same money in someone's hand. So you have the AI. What do you do with it? But we must condition the heart of young people. We must motivate young people to let them see that AI is a tool that they can use to enhance their learning. You can learn on the go. AI can summarize a book for you in 300 words. So in a day, you have an opportunity to read over 300 books. Yes, I can say, hey, hi, please give me the summary of a book by Robin Sharma, 5 a.m. Club. And it's going to give me, I'll read the summary. I can say, hey, hi, please, can I have the summary of David and Goliath by Malcolm Gladwell? I will have it. So I can read, I can access information on the go. So young people's heart must be conditioned, they must be shaped in such a way that they see the potential. Hey, hi, can I have a diagram of what are the fundamentals I need to pay attention to while drawing a building? So it can aid learning, it can aid our exposure to get information on the go. But we must see beyond the few people in the underdeveloped country who are using these tools for bad things, like how do I make a bomb, or how do I do this, that are non-ethical. Well, we must focus our attention on what good can we use this to generate on a daily basis. And we will see that with AI, life will become easier and faster. I'm not oblivious of the fact that some students can be very mischievous to use AI to do their assignments. The onus is on the lecturer to train them on how to localize or how to theorize whatever information the AI is giving to them, so that you don't just copy things verbatim. There's a way you can do these things. And the onus, as I said again, is on those who are working with the young ones to shape them. But AI is good, and it should be used for good purposes only. Wow. Well, without being sentimental, I was trained in public, of course, and then I worked with private. And I can say that private is awesome. Because first, the ratio of lecturer to students is manageable. You see, the larger the class, where you don't have some certain teaching aids, the more difficult it may be for the lecturers to really get the best out of the students. So, and then you have this good lecturer-student relationship. As in, I'm concerned about you and your academic progress, and I can encourage you, compared to the philosophy in some public institutions, where they will always say things like "Ogata ogota," which simply means whether I come to class or not, I'll be paid my money. Okay, I'm not saying that is applicable in all public institutions, but in private, in most cases, they have this business mentality that if we train you well, then you can refer other students to come to us. If we make your living and learning on this campus memorable, then you will even want to come and do something back for us in the next few years. And I think some of the Nigerian private universities got this right. One of the major microfinance banks in Nigeria, the major one, among the first two top microfinance banks in Nigeria, I don't want to mention their names so I won't give them free advert, were established by young minds who graduated from some of Nigerian private universities. And there are many more graduates from private institutions who are also contributing meaningfully to the society. And then you see, another benefit of the private is also the fact that they help to curtail some of the excesses of the youth. In some private universities, you cannot use your phones. In some private universities, the internet has been conditioned in such a way that you can't go to some sexually explicit sites. In most private universities, the structure is there that you can't just go out anytime you like, okay, without being monitored. And all these are good. It will help us to, avoid a lot of, help the student to avoid a lot of issues and help us to build a sane and better society. Can the two coexist? Of course, I'll say yes. But if I have to make my choice, I will opt for private. Yes, we pay attention to that a lot because every certificate that we issue in this university is an attestation, is a symbol of our integrity, and our attestation that someone has been trained and certified sound in character and in learning. And we do this, through various means. First, we create an atmosphere that will expose them to best practices around the world. Best practices around the world. And then also we create an atmosphere that will also keep them spiritually focused and spiritually strong. Because the best of us, we will only become the best that we were designed to do if we understand how to do things right in the physical and how to do things right also in the spiritual, because we are spiritual beings. So we create an environment where we let them know that beyond your academic expertise, beyond your academic exposure, you need to know that there is a God, okay, who is the creator of the whole world. And he has good intention for you, and we draw them so that they can become a total man, a total woman who is sound academically and who is also relevant and sound spiritually and socially. Everybody, keep watching academic work and keep reading the website as well. Thank you.